Today is January the 12th, and today I am in the presence of FBI, the bot laner for NRG.
Hello.
So, last year was probably maybe one of the most successful years in your career. You could argue that the year with 100 Ts before was quite successful as well, even if you didn't get it. You didn't get a LCS championship, obviously, and this year you managed to exceed expectations, especially at Worlds, being able to be the most successful Western roster pretty much that year. How has been your time with NRG since you joined, basically?
Um, I think my time with NRG has been really great, honestly. I think when I first joined the team in the beginning of summer last split, I'll definitely say we went through a couple of rough patches and um, some like tougher times. But I think yeah, I'm really proud of the guys and the coaching staff and everyone for managing to push through. And yeah, I think when you're able to just talk to each other and be honest and work on your problems, and just be a good team, I think you can go a long way. Yeah.
How has the transition between CLG and NRG? I mean, technically you weren't really on that roster, but did you feel any of those repercussions? I guess maybe through your teammates in general and stuff.
Um, Not for me personally. I think they kept a lot of the same staff as the CLG roster. I mean, obviously CLG was a pretty legendary organization in the LCS historically. So it was pretty sad, at least for me, somewhat to see the organization go. But for me joining the team, I would say I didn't really feel too much of that CLG missing, to be honest. And I can't speak for my teammates there.
Obviously, last year was a very successful year for you. It was your second LCS championship, I think.
Yeah.
And do you feel any pressure from last year to uh, be able to re-accomplish the same thing this year, especially with a roster swap in the support position, right?
Um, I wouldn't really say I feel any pressure. I think maybe early on in my career, I felt a lot of the weight of the expectations of the community and things like that. But I think over time throughout my career, I've kind of learned that what you've accomplished or done in the past really doesn't mean too much in the present day. I think you're only as good as your last game, realistically speaking. So yeah, I don't really hold too much weight on what we managed to do last year. But at least for me personally, I want to go further because that's always the goal. I think for every competitor to just exceed um, the things that you've accomplished in the past and achieve them again. So that's what we'll be looking to do again this year.
You'll be reuniting with Hui this year because obviously you've been playing with him in the past in 100 Thieves and even Golden Guardians back in the day. Um, do you feel that Hui, in a way, could even help you achieve these goals of going further than before? How has he been integrating with the team?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's always great to reunite with an old friend, and I think Huhi had a really great year last year. I think he really proved that he was um, the best. I would say he was number one All Pro support throughout the year, and he's always just been a very smart player, and he has a lot of um, good knowledge and views on the game that he can bring to a team and try to teach teams perspectives on map play. And yeah, I've always really had a lot of respect for who he is as a player and as like a person. I really enjoy working with him. So I'm hoping this year will be a great year.
What would you say are your main qualities as a duo together, basically? Your main strengths?
At least for me, I think when me and Huhi played in the past, we've always had really great matchup knowledge on bot, and I think for us, now that we're both more experienced and I guess veterans of the game, I would say we can play multiple different styles in the bot lane, whatever the team comp or whatever the team requires of us. And I think we've always really had just great laning, and like I said before, I think he's very smart about the game, so he knows where to be on the map most of the time in the game. So
Going into this off season, I think a lot of people have been looking mainly at Cloud9 in the league, and a lot of people have been saying that they are maybe like the strongest on paper team. How would you react to this, considering that even last year you were like pretty underrated as well, and you still managed to get the championship win? Do you think that people are underrating NRG again?
um, I personally could not really care too much about things like that, but I will say that I do think, at least on paper, the C9 roster is very strong. You would have to
Do you
call
see them
them.
as your main rivals, I guess, then?
I'm not too sure yet at this point because super teams have come in the past and they've failed dramatically. So it's hard to say that a team on paper can be a rival before we've even played each other. I don't know because we played them in the first week, so we haven't actually scrimmed them too much. And I'm not really too sure how they've meshed as a team and things like that. I think throughout the split, a lot of teams that start strong, like FlyQuest in spring last split, can fall pretty dramatically. So it'll just we'll just see over time how they mesh as a team and the other teams as well. There's some strong rosters across the board, so I think it'll just come down to whoever works the hardest and yeah, just gets it together.
So obviously you've been saying that you are aiming to exceed pretty much your accomplishments from last year. So sorry for that.
No, brother.
I would assume then that this means that you probably want to really leave a mark on the international stage, right? You've been there quite a few times before. I mean, you've participated in the last three World Championships, and I mean, even before that, I think you went to MSI when you were all the way back to in Oceania, right?
Yeah,
With your other team, which was Bombers, I think, at the
yeah,
time.
makes sense.
And yeah, how, do you feel a special hunger this year to really like strive to maybe even go for semifinals or maybe even win worlds pretty much?
Um, yeah, 100%. I think that's always the goal to win worlds, make a really deep run in the international tournaments, and just make your region proud. But ultimately, at the end of the day, I think it's a really different game compared to last year. As everyone knows, the patch was pretty big, and I'm not going to look past the regional league and say that we're going to accomplish something at worlds this year in the beginning of spring because I think every team still needs a lot of time to grow. But with that being said, my goal is always to make it to Worlds, to make it to MSI, and yeah, just make our region proud. I think last year we were generating like a lot of buzz again in the North American scene with the things that we managed to do, but ultimately having a pretty disappointing loss stings pretty bad. So definitely want to get back into that stage and show that we can compete with the best teams in the world and try to make North America proud. Yeah.
So your first goal at the moment is basically to concentrate on local play and just dominate the LCS, right?
Yeah, 100%. I think you can never look too far into the future, and for me, it's just winning one game at a time, and eventually you'll get to the places you want to be. Yeah.
You mentioned the new season. Obviously, there's been a lot of changes. I think notably a thing that a lot of people have been talking about for botlane is the impact of the map changes for red sites. Have you felt like this is something that is a bit difficult to work around? Do you feel even that maybe Riot could be making some changes there again as a follow up?
I personally don't think Riot will make any more changes on the map. With that being said, yeah, for the first couple of games, it's very different. I think just in terms of the ganking pass, diving, things like that. Even just the dragon contest without that big wall across the red side blue buff area. Yeah, there's just a lot of different opportunities and a lot of different strategies involved that comes with big changes to the map like these. So yeah, we're still trying to figure out obviously a lot of things in terms of the new patch, but I mean, I've been enjoying the new patch. I think it's definitely um, very refreshing, I would say.
Can we expect any spicy picks without revealing too much, I guess?
Yeah, I mean, I think in the past, Huhi's always been a player who has some spicy picks. So you'll be probably looking towards him. Maybe he'll pull out the ASOL support, and yeah, I'll try to match whatever craziness he comes up with. Yeah.
I think honestly that's about all the questions I have for today.
Yeah.
Do you have just anything to say to the fans before we close out?
No, that's all. I think just to the fans, thank you guys for supporting us on our journey, and hoping for a great year again. Regardless of what we've done in the past, always just looking to make you guys proud.
Well, thank you very much for your time today, FBI.
Thank you.
I hope you have a great split. And for viewers, you can always check out our channels for more content. And see you in the next one.